In this video, besides these good looking PC components, we also have a very special ATA case for this build. Yes, this is the MSI MPG VIXTA 300R PC, but be careful with the name, don't accidentally pronounce it like MSI officially introduced this new case at Computex 2026. It features a very unique floating style design with a lot of sharp angles and round edges. This makes the case look less aggressive compared to many traditional gaming cases. And I think the most interesting part is how MSI split the original PSU chamber into two sections. On the left, we have a mesh PSU chamber, while the right side is basically an open support structure. The space in the middle is actually so large that I can fit my entire arm inside it. That's a pretty bold design. At the front, we have a large curved glass panel, similar to the panoramic glass designs that we see on many modern PC cases. The airflow layout is quite simple. Air comes in front of the bottom and side, while hot air is exhausted through the top and rear. The case measures 455 plus 235 plus 490mm, and it can support up to two 140mm fans and seven 120mm fans. You can check the full specification in the table on screen. For the rest of the hardware, we mainly try to match the dark grey color theme of the case. Both the motherboard and graphics cards are from MSI, while the CPU is the Ryzen 7 9850X3D, the motherboard is the MSI X870E UNIFY-X MAX, which is personally one of the best looking X870E motherboards on the market right now. It uses a black metal design with some silver mirror finish elements around the I/O area and M.2 heatsink. And with its crazy amount of expansion options and overclock ability, I think it's a perfect example of a very low-key but luxurious design. Since the PCIe slot on this motherboard is located in the second slot position, and we also need to install additional intake fans at the bottom of the case, so we decided to go with the MSI RTX 5080 Gaming Trial OC. The AI cooler is another interesting new product. It's from PCCOOLER. Apart from its overall color matching the theme of this build, the dual screen design is also one of the things that caught my attention. You can choose between a full screen mode and a split screen mode. Compared to curved screen coolers, this gives users another way to customize the display. And finally, for the case fans, we went with the Geometry Future Squama series. I especially like the scale armor-like texture on the fan. It looks really good when light it up. We have also prepared a full part list for this build, so you can check the table on screen for all the details. First, let's take a look at the airflow of this build. The main intake ports are on the side and at the bottom of the case. Most of these areas are used mesh panels, so they can bring a good amount of cool air into the case. However, there is one thing we need to pay attention to, and that's the PSU areas on the left. Because the power supply is stored here, it does block some of the airflow coming from the bottom fans. Compared to this side, the open area on the right has much less obstruction, so the airflow is noticeable better here. Now let's move on to the thermal test. This time we test the system with and without intake fans installed at the bottom of the case. We use 3D Mark speed rate and AIDA64 FPU as our stress test. According to the data recorded by HW-Info, when running 3D Mark speed rate alone, adding intake fans at the bottom clearly helped lower the GPU and memory temperatures. After adding the AIDA64 FPU stress test, the cooling advantage of the bottom fans was still quite clear. The memory temperatures dropped by almost 5 degrees, while the GPU temperatures dropped by around 1.8 degrees. As for the CPU, there was basically no noticeable change. Finally, let's take a look at the gaming performance of this Ryzen 7 9850X 3D plus RTX 5080 build. We tested a few recently released AAA titles. First, we have Halo Camping Evolved. We used the real combat scenes of the test. The system achieved an average of 79 FPS with a 1% low of 55 FPS. Next, we have Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resin. For this game, we used the built-in benchmark. The average frame rate was 83 FPS with a 1% low of 62 FPS. And finally, we have Forza Horizon 6. Again, we used the built-in benchmark. The average frame rate was 71 FPS with a 1% low of 53 FPS. As you can see, the system delivers a pretty smooth experience in all three games. Honestly, I personally really like this kind of case with unusual designs. They may not be made for everyone's taste, but I think they do bring some fresh ideas and a bit more personality to the PC market. A case like the VIXTA 300R PC can easily stand out in a gaming room without needing to cover the whole thing in RGB lighting. It already gets enough attention just for its design. But what do you guys think about this kind of unusual case design? Let me know in the comments below and let's discuss. This is Mr. Gray and I will see you in the next video.